Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or whatever it is time you guys are listening to. It's Tap 57 covering Wexford on the 9th of August and a little chat about the Group 1 Phoenix Stakes from the Curragh. Andy Cummins joined, as always, except for last time, by Declan Carroll. Dec, you were away in Greece. How was your holiday? It looked bliss.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very hot now. It was very, very hot. 44 degrees. Too hot, really. Like, can't be chilling out down that. But did find a pub down the town where a lot of football jerseys hanging up. So George wanted to go in. We went in and they told us they were going to put on the All-Ireland final for us. So I was like, happy days. Then I realised they put it on RTE2. So I said, right, I'll be back down here tomorrow. Galway's on. He said, yeah, wherever you want. So I got to watch a bit of Galway down that pub anyway, but missed plenty of winners from the Russell Sullivan yard.
Yeah, my God, he had some time of it, didn't he? Was it 4 winners on the week at Galway and then another one elsewhere, I think, was it?
4 winners, but it was, I think it was 3 5 in a row. And
yeah, something insane.
Down into the meeting. And yeah, look, as you know, Andy, Ross's yard is in profit. Trade last for every year.
Back them blind.
Yeah, trade last 4 flat seasons.
Yeah.
He's been knocking on the door, and I've always said he just needs one good one, and he was just concentrated last week, and it came together. And I'm absolutely delighted for him and the yard. Delighted it came on terrestrial TV and RTE, and it's really put him out there, and hopefully get a few decent owners in, a few lads who can afford a few nice horses.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, fantastic week for Ross, and look, he's going from strength to strength. You could even see it towards the end of the last National Hunt season. Obviously, a runner-up at Cheltenham with his only runner. Took that form into the spring and has continued it on the flat as well.
They put a new gallop in just at the start of the year, and it is since about February that the horses have been, they've been in good form, and hopefully the run continues into Saturday night anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. With a bit of luck, Ceanndana making his return to Kilbeggan over fences, somehow staying in that grade of race, which is again another testament to Ross's skills that he's been able to. What's another run under 109? Is it?
Yeah, so he'll be top weight. He'll carry 11. No, he can carry weight for a horse that's not the biggest. He can carry weight. He's done it already, and I'm quietly confident at the moment. I get less and less confident as we get closer to the race, but I think he's a better chaser than a hurdler. He won really easy at the track. He handled it really well the last day. I was quite nervous of him going to Kilbeggan after his previous run there, but I think we've 3 to be afraid of, in my opinion. Henry's, Liz Doyle's, and Gilligan's. They will be the 3 I'd fear, but it's hard to know how good he is now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the way he's been winning, he's enjoying himself. And look, just going to enjoy him. And as long as he runs his race and comes home safe, we'll be absolutely delighted. But he's probably made us a little bit cocky and a little bit confident now.
Yeah.
But look, it's great. It's brilliant. Like, I mean, be going to the races confident, and we're at that stage now. Well, I am anyway. The lads like a bet, but I don't need to back him anymore. I just want him to win. He's just too enjoyable.
So, I think you'd be fortunate to get 6-4. Looking at the field.
I think anywhere. I think 6-4. What he might open at, and
he might be going into a few of those Saturday accumulators now with the football coming back. Like, he could be that type of price. You never know.
Yeah, he could be. Looking at Ross had a Butterfingers go off last night at 4-5, I think, in a handicap on the flat. Actually, I think is quite a nice horse. I think he'll step up and trip, and he's won over. I was surprised now he won over 2 miles over hurdles, but he won over 1.5 miles last night on the flat, and he was just. While everything else was slowing down, he was just going the same pace. And I'd say he's a bet now when he steps up and trip over hurdles. Could be a bet twice, up to 2.5 and then up to 3 miles.
Yeah, you could well be right, and obviously on the back of the flat, he's still got the filly Indigo Dream, who could have bumped into a potential Migler filly last time out in Red Leather. So
Yeah, look, and she's really, really nice. Like, and I remember meeting Ross down at the Curragh one day, and he asked me to hang around. He asked me to hang around to have a look at her and do a piece of work, and he was giddy. Like, you know, he has been getting a better class of flat horse. You know, it'd be nice to see him get a better class of jump horse now as well, because he can place them. Like, he's always been getting winners, particularly during the summer. He's well capable of placing them. It's very, very difficult for trainers like Ross in the depths of winter. You know, you're taking on the really big stables and heavy ground, but he's always placed them well in the summer, and he's just beginning to get that better class of horse, particularly on the flat. So he's getting a better class of owner as well on the flat. So you know, obviously Eleanor Kennedy owns Indigo Dream, and she has some really nice ones. She's had a couple of nice horses with J Lines as well. So should we have some with Mick O'Callaghan as well, does she?
She does indeed, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so,
she does. Shouldn't she win was it the Malcolm last week? A good one. Did she not own that?
Oh, she did. Yeah, she did. Blaze something, was it? Or something beginning with a B.
Yeah, but sure, you backed it, didn't you? You texted me from Greece.
Yeah, that was it.
He's nice struggling at work in this lad.
But a lot of drinking at that stage.
Did you back that?
Where was ahead, you see?
Did I back well?
No, look, I always say, like, it's a great yard to be involved in. I couldn't recommend it enough, and he's an absolute gent. The team are brilliant, and you know, I'd say again, anyone interested in getting involved in ownership, whether it's a syndicate or on your own, like it's the yard I'd be recommending anyway.
Yeah, and I could vouch for that. So we have gotten minorly involved, Tommy and I, in the racing club. So Lost President going to run the second race at the Curragh on Saturday, so he's going to be getting plenty of updates about him, and hopefully he can build on a very eye-catcher run, albeit in a median auction. He goes into a proper EBF now, so like if he gets close in that, obviously he could be a very, very nice horse. But you know, once he just kind of pings the gates, learns from his experience, has a good time, I think there'll be races to be won with him in the future for sure. Yeah, so a fantastic season Ross is having in Ceanndana, and everybody really associated with the yard, so long may it last. Will we get stuck into the action from Wexford? I still cannot believe we're covering Wexford over a Group 1 card on Saturday. But look,
Andy,
we put it down to the listeners.
I'm quietly confident now. Like, I'm not saying I'll go through the card, but I think I'll have a good Wexford now tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, we better.
I might go through the card with the help of yourself, but I really go through it on my own.
Studying this card in disdain, because I don't know if some listeners know look, I like all Irish racing, I like all courses, but Wexford is, I don't know, there's never been maybe it's just not a lucky track for me or something, I don't know, but when we're covering it, like it's the most tapped thing you'll ever see. I think the best race on the card is an 80 to 116, and there's quite literally a Group 1 card on the next day, and the listeners vote for Wexford. Well, but it's who we are.
This is real racing, Andy.
This is proper racing, yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought it was quite funny now that it was quite funny. You was a flat purist, and I went to bed with the Curragh just in front, in front. But I thought the Curragh was gonna win a half length Shade Cosley, like, you know, just you know, an easy half length. But I woke up this morning and I couldn't believe Wexford got up in the shadows of the post.
Handicap marks blown for Wexford now.
The one we took out of it, the one we all took out of it, I think is
Tipperary, yeah. Next time
into the top tracker.
11% of the vote.
You're right, yeah.
Skilled in public.
We're looking to see Tip stepped up and tripped the next day.
All right, well, the think, print and design maiden hurdle is first up. I usually print, design and then think, which is probably a flaw in my life, but I'm probably not the only one that. Anyway, print, design, maiden hurdle. Dec, what is your thoughts on this? We have a 6-5 favourite in good old Sunchart, one of your old favourites. Kink, we're taking off 5 for Andrew Slattery. Started the season winning a listed race over 10 furlongs at Naas, and here he is back over hurdles. I would say his run last time out, or even his 2 maiden hurdles from previous seasons, like, it's probably the best form on offer here, despite him being 7. I think he's a 10 furlong horse, and I think he might actually struggle at the staying trips, just given recent form. But look, I think if he stays to 2 miles, all right, which I know sounds ridiculous in national hunt terms, but he is a flatbred. I think he just wins this. What do you think?
But just on the trip on the flat, like he could be triplets. I've always thought he wanted a trip, mile 6 to 2 miles. He did run in an Irish Derby. He was 8. He ran as a 2-year-old as well. He's been on the go a long time. But towards the end of last flat season or even the season before, I was beginning to think that the staying trip wasn't for him and he needed to come back. And I was, thinking along the lines of the 10 furlongs like yourself. But I'd be keen to take him on now. He's getting a bit hairy now, 7 years of age, particularly when he's been on the go since 2. And I'm not sure he loves jumping. And that might be what gets him big here again. Jackson Lamb, he's a 5-year-old. He's a bumper winner. He was second to the Passing Wife, who has followed up and won at Galway. The Passing Wife has won 3 times in bumpers, the 50% record. And Jerry's Gigi, who was third in that race the last day, is Jerry's Gigi a mare?
Jerry's Gigi, I would say. Where are we going now? Sorry, I've just absolutely lost my train of thought here.
Jerry's Gigi has followed up. It's Jackson's Lamb hurdle debut. You'd have to trust he can jump, but if he can jump, so I think he takes the beating here.
That's a fair shout. Even just looking on RPR, Sun Chart running into the mid 120s, I think the maiden hurdles he's run in are strong enough for the grade. And yeah, like trying to give weight away to Lieber Nick the last day. I think a replication of that season home here personally, but you want to be back in the, as you said, a horse that's a little hairy at this stage at 6 to 5 in a maiden hurdle.
And I just don't think he's in love with it. He doesn't love jumping.
He's not looking for his next hurdle.
They have to love jumping, and this could be the first time in his career I've taken him on.
I'm like, even just looking like his best form on the flat is at 10 furlongs to 1.5 miles, but in particular 2 group or pattern races at 10 furlongs. And they go straight back up to 10 or go back straight up to 12 to 16 furlongs. So I think that's a very strange one, as George joins us in the background. How are you, George?
I'm good.
You're famous now, buddy.
Yeah, I'm famous.
Are you looking forward to Saturday?
Yeah. You better win.
You better win.
You better win. That's just the expectations now are monstrous as a result. And George, we may as well give you a quick interview here. So you were the star of the show at Kilbeggan the last day, weren't you? You said you're going to win the English Grand National. Is that still the plan for Ceanndana?
Yeah, we're going to win the English Grand National.
Why the English Grand National over the Irish Grand National?
There's more hype to the English.
There we go. Yeah, the hype. He's not wrong. The Brits
He's
love
not
it.
wrong, yeah.
He's not wrong at all.
And we're also going to win the Gold Cup.
There you go. There's ambitions for you.
Gold Cup, Jenny Mac. Yeah, he's 7. You want to get a move on? We'd want to get a move on.
Go
Well, George joining the show. Always welcome. Always good to see him. Right, so we've got Sun Chart and then Dec. Reminder, quick for your selection there.
It was Jackson's Lamb.
Jackson's Lamb for Dec. Right, moving on to the 5:30 then, which is, as everything is starting to freeze for me, Noel O'Connell Memorial Mares Handicap Hurdle. It's an 80 to 102. Not a bad L race this one actually. I have one that is going to go straight in the top tracker, but I will give my selection in a minute. Very competitive, and I think there's going to be winners out of this race in the future, Dec. But who's your fancy?
Look, Bobby Gin 3 makes our handicap debut here after a very solid second the last day, but it's that second that might get her beaten on handicap debut, and she might just take the run, and the handicap might be a little bit closer to her than he normally is. But I go for Bayou Bell, Jarla Fatty, a 5-year-old. She's 0 from 10 over hurdles now, but her last 2 runs were beginning to look promising. She was second to one Bright Blue Rose, given £8 the last day, gives £3 today. She's definitely won as a 5-year-old. She's just slowly learning the game, as a lot of them do during the summer. Like, you'll find the summer horses don't win as quickly over hurdles. It's not quite like what we talk about in the winter, and they can just take a little bit more time to learn. I suppose the tracks are different as well. Like, you know,
tracks are sharper and the ground is a little bit quicker, so you can catch them out.
Everything's
happening quicker.
catch them out. Everything's happening quicker. They're turning a lot. They're up and down, and it can just take them a little bit longer. But yeah, she's definitely one that's starting to get the hang of things. I don't think she's too far away from a win, and the 5-year-olds will be starting to come into a bit of form from now. I think so. I'll take Bayou Bell.
I'm going to stick with Bobby Gentry. I know you said what you said about her just there, but I think she might have bumped into one in Torquay Road at Sligo at the start of the month, or start of July even. Look, I think there was maybe 6-7 lengths back to the third. If you take out the winner, Torquay Road, Bobby Gentry, she's not in this grade. So I think she gets another chance in this 80 to 102 grade, and I think she'll be able to follow up, because I think Torquay Road might be a little bit of ahead of the mark there. The one I am going to pop into the top tracker though is Gilded Moon down there for Alan Fleming, who was training a lot of Barry Connell's horses before he had a license. I haven't really seen him since, so it's nice to see him back with his name on a license. I'm sure he was training somewhere.
Was he training in Britain before that?
He could well have been, yeah. But anyway, this filly is by Sea the Moon. I thought, didn't show a whole lot first 2 times up, but did run an eye-catching third last time out at Kilbeggan. She's gotten a mark of 93, and she's okay on the flat. She has one on the flat. But I'd be interested to see how she runs here. It was a 2-mile tree the last day at Kilbeggan, so the reason I haven't put her up is that they're coming back to 2 miles, and the way you said it does happen a little bit quicker, albeit she is experienced on the flat. But it was just nice the way she stayed on at Kilbeggan, and maybe over that course and distance or something in a handicap, maybe at the end of the month, if there's anything. I'll have to have a quick look at the calendar. I could see her maybe nicking a race, so I'll be watching her very closely to see how she comes home, but I will be popping her in the tracker, keeping an eye on her. But it is going to be Bobby Gentry for me in the 5:30, which as I said, I think there's going to be winners out of that race as well. As I even forgot, look, I'm not at the races tonight, Dec. I think it's because my spite of covering Wexford, I didn't even change the no look on Memorial Mirror, so apologies for that. Moving on to the 6:05 to support the Irish Interjockey Fund Handicap Hurdle. This is an 80 to 116 and is our main event pretty much of the evening. A trainer that I was fond of last week, Bill Durkin, with the top weight here, Wondering Rocks. He had a fantastic week. Well, all his horses kind of running well. Obviously finding the win. He had the winner of the 1.5 handicap as well on the Friday. So fantastic week. So maybe that can be continued with Wondering Rocks, but plenty of weight to carry here in this field, which does look competitive. But something's got to win, I suppose. Tingarden Express 4-1, very very consistent. But when you see all those 2s and 3s, that it can sometimes throw you off, can't it? Because they're just not really winning. I actually kind of like Val's Sorpresa.
You mentioned the tree. You mentioned the tree. I was not mentioning.
Okay. Well,
we might have a nap at the top combination tricast here.
Quite potentially, but go on. Why do you like Val's Sorpresa?
Yeah, look, I actually like the three of them, and I was thinking I'd sit this race out and not have a bet in it, because these are the only 3 I really want to talk about, but I don't feel strongly enough about one, or I'm picking too many holes in them all. Val, how are we saying the Val Sorpresa?
I said Val Sorpresa, yeah. Val
Sorpresa. Like, there's plenty to forgive in the last 2 runs. It hit the rail and was badly hampered the last day.
That was a remarkable run to kind of even stay up. I thought that was Like,
it will need to improve, but they all need to improve in this race. It's probably, I think the winner comes from whichever one of these 3 finds the most improvement or enough improvement. Wandering Rocks, he's top weight, like you said. A lot of weight for a 5-year-old. He was quite keen the last day when he was poor, and that was his handicap debut. He might have learned a lot. He is a maiden winner, so he has got ability. And then Tingarden Express, she's very consistent, like you said. She might be in the grasp of the handicapper because she shows her hand so much, and she's been second and third a lot. And she might have been better off running in the 0 to 95 rather than, what's this, the 0 to 102?
6 days, 80 to 116, I believe. Yeah,
okay. She's up in grade. She could have ran in the grade lower, and she might have, had a better chance against lesser horses. But it's coming from those 3, I think. Anyway, I will do the combination tricast now. That we've both spoken about it. But if I was going to narrow it down, look, I'll go between Val Suppressa and Wandering Rocks. You're going to help me out?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Val Suppressa. That would be one of my better bets on the card, actually. I think just keep him out of trouble. If Carl Miller can boot him out, and Carl Miller's, he's made the run on quite a few of Gordon's, he got on great with Maximir like this season, for example. So he can ride from the front, and I think that's what they're going to try and do. He was impressive enough for the grade in Downpatrick. The race at Listowel, won by All for Rachel. That was a tough one. Like, All for Rachel is again not bad for the grade either. And that was probably you could make an argument maybe that's the strongest race he's probably ever run in on over hurdles. You seen what happened to him behind with Cockhardy at Roscommon, and look, he got no luck at Ballinrobe either. Like, he was hampered at 2, maybe even 3 times. Hampered very early on, and hampered again when but all chance had really gone. It just didn't work out for him. So I'm basing this going all the way back to his win at Downpatrick, and Carl Miller £7. That's going to be useful come this winter. It won't be £7 obviously in the winter time. Yeah. It will be 5, but he's going to be a jockey that's very much in demand. He's going to be in those big handicap hurdles, handicap chases. I could see him even riding in England for Gordon Elliott a little bit. I could see him being highly sought after in races like the Martin Pipe, and we could finally get round to that time of the year. But it will be Val Suppressa for me. What about yourself, Dec? You going to stick with me, or are you going to go?
Yeah, look, I said I might need your help on this one, and I was hoping you might mention one of the 3. You mentioned the 3 of them, so look, I can see the winner come from those 3, and I'll stick with you with Val Suppressa.
Nice. Okay, let's move on to the 640, the Pat Farrell Memorial Handicap Hurdle. It's an 80 to 95 with a trip of 3 miles. This is your cup of tea, to be honest with you. This is not really anything that I'd want to be getting too overly involved in, and it's Division 1 as well to make it even better. Really, really competitive again for the grade, but a lot of slashes, a lot of F's and P's and duck eggs everywhere you kind of look. Kilmurray JJ, I suppose, is going to be the one that's highly sought after. Has been quite progressive over fences. I think fell, or maybe I was unseeded. I think very early. Was that the first or second? I think in Tipperary. You probably think, given this grade, coming back to hurdles is probably hard to beat. But what do you think?
Well, he's 0 from 8 over hurdles. Now we have seen the trainer come back to hurdles, win very, very well with Whiskey Welt, and then go back over fences and win again. He's rated 93. He has won off 101 over fences recently. He was 108 or 109, I think, when he unseated the last day. You just worry, 0 from 8 over hurdles. Now, you could argue that he's full of confidence now, and he's learned how to win, and he could be absolutely thrown in off 93. But I'll take him on, and I'm kind of sweet on one here, and it's the mare. Any questions? She was second in a race behind Rising Dust, and Saffron et Bleu was behind her that day. Rising Dust and Saffron et Bleu have both, I think they both ran behind Ceanndana at Kilbeggan the last day.
Okay, so this is where it comes. Okay.
Yeah,
right behind Ceanndana.
Saffron et Bleu is a 5-year-old, and he's won since. I think the form of the Kilbeggan race is quite good. The both of them might have won. Did Rising Dust win? No, I think Dino Land won. I think it could be. It's a race worth following, and I think Saffron et Bleu is quite a nice horse. Now, any questions? She was disappointing the next day, but she was behind My Villa Lass, who's followed up since. So, the form is there, and others have run well as well from that race. The form is there. There's winners coming out of all of our races, and I think she could take a bit of stopping here tomorrow night.
Any questions at 15 to 2? That's when I'm going to have to trust you on Dec. You will be basing it pretty much off the run, her penultimate run at Listowel, which was, as you said, Rising Dust winning. 40 to 1 that day as well. But a repeat of that effort would definitely see her go close. I did have cast a quick eye over Walking the Bright Side, but again, like looking at the price, 11-2, I'd probably want, a double figure price to be kind of getting involved there. That's very skimpy. Kilmurray JJ, I can see what you're thinking about as well. Dec, kind of take him on. You just never know when they come back over hurdles. Some horses can just be far better chaser. So any questions? Very interesting there in the 640. Moving on then to the 715, which is the Division 2 of Pat Farrell's Memorial. And this is not much easier, to be honest. Well, actually, last one was easy for you, Dec. I kind of liked Georgina Selena here for John McCall and Ben Harvey. I did look at both their entrants. I always find it interesting if a trainer tries to throw two at it and then they get split up into different divisions. But this one definitely seemed to be the one that I thought you kind of looked the part. Off the same mark, just couldn't quite get there at Downpatrick. Now steps up to 3 miles. Looks like it could be quite hard to beat, and is currently actually trading as the 5-1 favourite. So that's the one I'd be with, Georgina Selena. Who do you like, Dec?
No, I really like her, and I think the market's right with the top two. Georgia Selena, like she's stepping up the 2 furlongs. It is gonna help. She's learning on the game, on the job as well. She's got a massive chance. And the favourite, Tropical Speed, he is, I think it's quite obvious why he's interested. Like, he's improved in both his handicap starts. He went over 3. He stepped up and tripped to 3 miles. Then he came back to 2.5. He's stepping back up again. He's another one who's learning on the job, only a 5-year-old. It's very difficult to look past them. But I am very tempted to have a go at Classman.
Classman, duck eggs everywhere. But with the go on, tell me why.
Classman stepped up 2 furlongs for his handicap debut, and he wasn't off. And we didn't really show anything, but there's plenty of reasons why he didn't show anything. When you find a horse that's not off, you're looking for him coming home past beating horses. You're looking for him to be an eye catcher, but he had a lot of excuses in that race to not be an eye catcher. He's up another 2 furlongs, and there's cheek pieces gone on. I think you're going to see a much improved performance, and he could certainly outrun his odds.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so look, they ran him in Winter Maidens, obviously behind the likes of Daddy Longlegs and Slade Steele. So it is always interesting when you find those ones tailed off in Winter Maidens, rocking up to summer handicaps off marks in the basement like this. So I can see where you're coming from. Obviously, you're taking plenty on trust, but 20-1, I would have thought you might have been looking. You're surely bigger out there than 20-1, is there? Yeah,
looking at his form, he should be bigger, but unless they're seeing there's reasons why he wasn't the eye catcher the last day, and they're not taking any chances. And I think if he didn't have excuses the last day, he might only be 10-1. He might have known plenty. But look, at the same time, it is Pat. Nobody's going to be surprised if the winner comes from the front two. Maybe keep it simple and dodge your bets with the first two, because they look obvious in this race. But I'd hate to leave a Classman behind. I would just hate to not take a big price when you think there might be something there. I think he'll definitely outrun his odds.
Right.
Whether he's good enough to win, I don't know, but I think we're going to see a much improved performance.
Nice. Very good. It's Georgia Selena. I think I said Georgina Selena, so my bad on that one. Right, so on to the 750 then, the Trainers of Wexford Handicap Hurdle. Trainers of Wexford, is that a pub, is it? Or a restaurant or something? But I'm sure, I don't know. Anyway, I've never been. I was just wondering if you might have seen it on your travels.
I haven't been. I haven't got to Wexford yet.
No. Really?
Yeah, it's only down the road. Well, it's not down the road.
That's an hour away.
It's only recently down the road. Like Wexford used to be like nearly 2.5 hours drive, but you do it in maybe an hour and a half now.
Oh, yeah, it's not too bad at all. You're probably doing less than an hour and a half, would you? No, it depends how you're driving.
The road runs right there now. You used to have to come off and go through Ferns and go through Enniscorthy, and you were going through towns up until maybe about 4 years ago.
Yeah, fair enough, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose it would again depend on traffic, I'd say, but yeah, an hour and a half definitely would get you there. Hour and a half to watch this 80 to 102. That's probably how long it might take to complete. Might be amazing. So this is another handicap on the card. again, very, very competitive for the grade. Dec, again, this is your bread and butter, your cup of tea. The one I kind of came down on was Sammy Smart, but again, you're never overly mad on horses that have, you know, gone close to winning and gone up £2. But again, bumped into a certain Grace Faraday, good friend of the show. And I think that's got a decent form if he's ready to go off a 71-day break. But who is your fancy here?
Yeah, I did look at Sammy Smart, and it was a big run the last day when Grace had her day. But he will need to continue that. And
Grace had her day.
I've been waiting for that one.
Sitting on that one for years, right?
Months. He will need to continue to show improvement. But the one I've come down on is Buru, a 6-year-old, decent running handicap debut to finish third the last day. Left on the same mark and at the same trip, should improve and is going to hold share the knowledge. So has one horse beaten. We're not finishing last, and I think Buru will give it a good go very close.
Very, very good. Yes, do I want to get involved at Sammy Smart at 11-2? I could maybe take it or leave it. I think there's probably stronger bets on the card, but and he's an 8-year-old as well. Like he's probably not. Yeah, that's not necessarily hiding anything, despite him only having 10 career starts, 6 of which over hurdles. Late bloomer, hard to train, maybe both. I don't know. Would definitely have a chance, but I think there's stronger bets on the card. Dec, do I need to ask you about the bumper? Is this something that you had a quick look through here, the Mayor's Flat Race?
With the day I'm going to have at Wexford, I won't need to be punting in the Mayor's bumper.
Very good. So Methiel for the Coilies there, 7-4 favourite. Full field as well for the Mayor's bumper, but it's not a race that we. Yeah, no, maybe Hey Sunshine as well. Actually, it kind of looks like 7-4 to each of the two. So for Patrick and Willie there as well. Interesting old race, but not a race that would be very much worth punting on. That brings us to the end of the Wexford card. Before we have a quick look at the Phoenix Stakes deck and a few little other bits from the Curragh and some small bits. What's your strongest bet on the card? Or do you have one? Or are they all your strongest
bets? Of the weekend or this card?
On this card. For now.
Any questions? She's the one I was raving about earlier. Look, I will say I do think Ceanndana will win. I know I usually go down. I do.
There goes the 6-4 anyway. Once this is released.
I normally trying to find all sorts of reasons to get him beaten, but he's just loving it. He's loving his job. Stables in flying form, and he's to give away a lot of weight. He can carry weight, but he does have to give away plenty of weight to, horses that could be well handicapped. But I think he could be well handicapped, and he
is well handicapped.
Yeah, so
just point blank is, but
I think he'll win.
I agree. I think he'll win. I've usually been more confident than you, but I think you're finally getting. Well, I've nothing to do with the horse, so it's easy for me to be confident.
Yeah, I'm always quite nervous, and I'm always, he doesn't show loads at home,
But that's what you want.
I know, and then you get
exactly what you want.
Ross is like, now will you relax? Yeah. And
it's those horses that show nothing is what you want. Like that's right. When Aidan O'Brien wins the Derby with a 3-year-old that wasn't seen at 2 because it wouldn't do it, and it's like we better run him in a maiden, and then it rocks up with the 2nd or 3rd cap on and wins the half the track, and then we better run him in a Derby trial, goes and wins that. What was it? Ruler of the World? Wasn't like horses
Wings of Eagles.
Caliber. Wings of Eagles. This thing's a machine. We won't do anything at home.
Yeah. So and it's like and then it's like he worked with this horse and it was okay, but then he just loves his job. Like he's always loved racing though, to be fair to him. He's always loved his job, loved what he's doing, loves jumping, doesn't mind getting bumped, loves running through gaps. He's all the qualities you need to be a racehorse, and he is a proper racehorse, and that's what probably would carry him into up the handicap a little bit more, is the fact that he loves it. Because like Andy, we cover even good horses, like a lot of them don't want to know the volubility in the world, but at the moment he does want to know. So hopefully he doesn't figure it out. He still gets fed when he goes home, and he wins or loses.
Yeah, God help us now.
Ross did say he's walking around now with the chest out, and he knows he's winning at the moment. Like, you know what I mean? His confidence is through the roof. I'd say he's annoying people that down there at the moment. Say he can't stand.
Kicking the door down to go out for another. Sees the truck leave the yard and he's kicking the door down.
Yeah. He sees them going up to the Curragh. I don't want that. Why am I not going today? It's a 5 furlong sprint.
Very good. Yeah, he's there. He probably wants to smoke from. Who's Ross's decent sprinter? I don't have to think now. It's gone to.
Oh, Warrior Brave, is it?
Yeah, probably says Warrior Brave, burn up the Gallops. Let me work with him.
Yeah.
I'll have it. Give me the smoke. Give me the smoke. Anyway, so this the 4:35 from the Curragh deck is the Phoenix Stakes. I know that Curragh didn't win the vote, but we can't leave a Group 1 on the weekend go uncovered. Just the 6 going to post, 2 fillies, 4 colts. Arizona Blaze, I'll give you a quick run through the 6 horses. Arizona Blaze, the son of Sergei Prokopiev, has won 2 of his 5 starts so far, has been placed in group company a number of times, including the Railway Stakes here over course and distance last time out, when well behind Henry Matisse, who has not declared, could go for the French equivalent, the Mornay, or possibly waiting for the National Stakes over 7. Probably flying too high here. Rudy's Apple is really impressive in a nursery over the course and distance. Last 3 weeks ago, I think it was on Oaks Day. Got £11 for that and very well justified. Could probably see him outrunning his odds. Whether he's good enough to get to the market protagonist is another thing. Shadow Army is here for Richard Fatty and Wantan Racing. Good to have a raider over, of course. Won at York, beating Francisco's Peace, and was probably, he was bitterly disappointing really in the Windsor Castle and beaten a long way, but he did put that form well behind him, behind Araby and Chantain, the pre-Robert Papan. It's hard to know how strong that form is right now, and he is probably best watched here. Whistle Jacket, brother to last year's winner, Little Big Bear, representing Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore, second to Curragh of the County on debut. Easily beat Arizona Blaze on his next start. Ran very well in the Norfolk when 5 furlongs was just a little bit too short. Beating at odds on there, but it was probably the trip more so than his ability. And he made no mistake when he was very impressive in the July Stakes at Newmarket. Justified favourite in my opinion, but 8-11 is very short because he does have to take on Gerlines and Colin Keane filly Barbouche, who has been awesome in 2 starts to date. Extremely impressive at Cork. The maiden form of that actually isn't too bad either. There has been winners in behind. Shiota, who finished 6th that day, went out and won maiden at a big price on her next start. She had to pick up more than once to beat Camille Pizarro in her next start in a Group 3 company at the Curragh. I'd say she might have had a harder race than people think there. She is a sister to Zarinsk, so 7 furlongs in time is going to give her a very, very good chance of progressing. Whatever she does here is an absolute bonus, with maybe a view to the Moigler if Red Letter doesn't make that, because Gerlines did say they might be putting her away. She's a huge chance, plenty of ability. Her future is very, very bright, and she probably has the brightest future in this field. It's just that Whistle Jacket is a proper 2-year-old. And the field is rounded out by Heaven's Gate, who won the Ballyhane Stakes last week at Naas, the big sales race. She was quite impressive there. She's probably a little bit below this field. Maybe will improve when she sees 7 furlongs to a mile. She's no mug whatsoever, and Aidan O'Brien has won this race on numerous occasions with a 2nd string and even 3rd string. I remember the likes of Pedro the Great winning this at big prices, and Aidan's done this a million times with a 2nd string, so you couldn't rule her out. I think Whistle Jacket will win the race. He'll probably beat Barbouche. I could see Rudy's Apple though. Like, he's the rag of the field. He should not be the rag of the field. If one of the top 2 in the market was to underperform, I'd be happy to back him at 20-1 to maybe nick a place, maybe even back him without Whistle Jacket. If there's a market without the top 2, which I severely doubt over 6 places, he'll be the rag of that as well. Just back him, because he's definitely very talented in what he did in that nursery last time out.
It was Black Forza, wasn't it? He was 2nd behind. It was the Eleanor Kennedy horse in Mick O'Callaghan's.
Black Forza, yeah, exactly. The form's very, very strong. So Rudy's Apple, if you can get him without the top two and back him each way, that's where I would go in the race. But I do think Whistle Jacket is your most likely winner. I know I've just rattled out the field there, Dec, while you stayed quiet and pretty. So apologies for that. But is there anything you like in the Phoenix Stakes?
Look, it probably is speculative each way bet on Rudy's Apple.
Very good.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
it. But before we go, Andy, one of our biggest followers, David.
One of our bigger fans.
One of our bigger fans, David Mons. Philly runs tomorrow, 8:10 at in Tipperary, Tea Garden Jazz. Do you want to?
Yeah, in the ladies handicap, yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see her back on the flat. Quite interesting as well. Hannah Smullen taking the ride as well, which is brilliant to see. She's claiming £7, so she hasn't been seen on the flat in I think it was October 2022. So you're talking the best part of 2 years. Seems like all her form, Tea Garden Jazz, all her best form is on a quicker surface. Obviously, you'd think she'd have a good chance now if she could replicate even her flat form. Like she had decent form on the flat when she was trained by Roger Charlton. You go back to 2 starts at Cork when she was only denied by Cobra Queen. That was on quick ground as well. Her run at Bellewstown where she was going so well, where she fell, I think it was she was probably going to be placed that day at Bellewstown. That was decent ground. The only race where she's kind of ran badly on decent ground was last time out at Killarney. If you can forgive that run, if you can forgive that run, she would have as good a chance as any. And it is probably worth noting that given this field, with the exception of maybe Nibiru, who's operated at a higher level, this is an opportunity that the Tea Garden Jazz wouldn't have kind of faced with a long time. Even the caliber she was dealing with over hurdles. I know it's hard to kind of mix and match the both form wise, but like this caliber of horse, it's hard to say they're definitely not better than the horses that she was dealing with over hurdles. So if she can translate that form back, especially from 2 starts back, she wouldn't be without a chance. So with a bit of luck, Tea Garden Jazz does run well for Hannah Smullen and David on his team as well. So with a bit of luck, yeah, runs a big race there.
Cool. Good luck, Dave.
Yeah, best of luck, Dave. 100%. Anything else then, Dec, for the rest of the week? I know you've gotten Ceanndana. I would imagine that you've probably left the Curragh well alone. It's full of maidens anyway. It's not like, to be honest, it would have just been. Funny enough, it probably would have just been me talking about what the horses' mum and dads did 10 years ago for about an hour. Would have probably sent everyone to sleep going on about the family tree. So maybe it was the right idea to do Wexford tonight. But anything else for the weekend, Dec?
No, I haven't. I ran out of time tonight. I didn't get a chance to look at Kilbeggan. I am going to have a look at the card at Kilbeggan, and I'll put up anything if I fancy it. But I'm confident about the field I spoke about now on Wexford.
Nice.
I'll be disappointed if I don't come away with a winner at Wexford.
Very good. Well, very best of luck with Ceanndana, Dec, as well as and hopefully we do have a few winners at Wexford as well. I will pop up one more. It's the 325 at the Curragh, the Phoenix Sprint Stakes. Obviously the same distance as the Phoenix Stakes, just for the older sprinters. Group 3 event. These are all very, very closely matched on sprint races that we've seen up the Curragh all season. It's nice to see Shartash back as well. Again in the Wantan colours for Archie Watson. And look, I think this is the race where he sat in the stalls last and just didn't come out. I think it was this race last year for Johnny Murphy. I think he was well fancied and he just sat in the stalls. I can't actually remember if it was this race or if it was it could well have been another race, but I think it was this one. But anyway, the one I do like is Jackajaro for the David Marnane team. I think this horse could have actually won its last 2 races. He hung a little bit behind my mate Alfie, got a little bit unbalanced when under pressure, only beaten a length that day and was very unlucky. And he was rattling, he was not rattled. He was rattled coming out of the stalls, what I meant to say, when he was beaten by Believing in the Group 2 here last time. But again, from what happened to him at the start, he had to use petrol early to get a position and just kind of faded away. But it was a very eye-catching run. And I think he's just been a little bit unlucky the last twice. And I could see him going severely unnoticed in this field. there's no standout performer. The market might tell you there's a standout performer. Obviously, Moss Tucker, very, very talented, has been in the form of his life the last year, with the exception of last time. Shartash has been in great form as well, but there's no dead-on superstar in the sprint division, not in Europe, not anywhere really. And I wouldn't be surprised if Chakajaro at a very, very big price. I'm expecting him to be 25, 33 to 1. I wouldn't be surprised if he hit the frame, so I'll be backing him each way on Saturday.
Okay, nice one.
Very good. Just until next time, guys, just keep liking, sharing, subscribing. We'll be back regularly and weekly now as we gear up towards the start of the National Hunt season. Sure, it's not far away, Dec, is it? We're nearly up for a year anniversary as well.
Yeah, it was. I think
around Halloween, wasn't it?
Top one was it was the start of October. I think it might be in the Gowran meeting just before the Arc, the day before the Arc.
I think you're right. Right. Yeah.
I think we might cover the Friday and the Saturday.
We'll have to mark that.
We get a special bottle of red for that.
Yeah, might do something. Maybe do like a Q&A even and get people on or something. We'll see what we might do. Something bit of fun. But until then, guys, we very much appreciate all your listening. Just keep doing all the good stuff that we ask for. Like, share, and subscribe, and everything else. We'll keep trying to provide the winners. And we'll speak to you next week, guys. Bye bye.
Yes, thank you.